I don't think life is something that should be done alone. I don't think business is something that should be done alone. And I think when you have community, you are able to share the highs and the lows with different people, but the lows don't feel as low as they could be when you have community, if that makes sense. But the highs also feel higher than they are. So community just exponentially makes everything better. My name's Steph, and I am the co-founder of Doceo, which is a social enterprise that helps 14 to 18-year-olds gain employability skills. For me personally, I always remember being in primary school, and for our art class, we were taken to this hill, right? And we had to do landscape drawing, and I could see the landscape of Canary Wharf. And I remember thinking like, oh, I really want to work in a place like that one day. I want to be someone who like puts on a suit and is a professional and is doing something really cool in the city. And then fast forward, the first job I ever had was me working as a tutor. And whilst I was tutoring, a lot of my students were young children of color, just like myself. And a lot of them would come to me and they would ask me like how to get a job or how to do their CV and things like that. And I realized that there was a need for many students who, on the academic side, they were getting support, whether it was through school or additional tutoring if their parents could afford it. But on the extracurricular side, when it came to things like knowing how to communicate or knowing how to manage their money or knowing how to build and evidence their personal brand, they were not getting the support in those areas. They were not able to find work experience or internships in industries that they were interested in. They were not even able to have access to different professionals who could maybe mentor them or help them understand more about the industry that they were interested in. And I just realized that there was a real need for Doceo on that front. And simultaneously to that happening to me, the same story pretty much happened to my co-founder as well. So we just came together and we decided we're gonna build Doceo to resolve that problem. And we're gonna help every single student, regardless of background, race, socioeconomic factors, whatever, we're gonna help them get the access that they need so that they can secure the future that they want for themselves. Being an entrepreneur is really hard. Being a woman of color, it just, each kind of category makes it harder and harder. And I think one of the things I personally found to be the hardest was finding people who had the shared experience so that we could share ideas together and see how we could help each other, but also just so that we could be a community and hold space for each other, right? Like sometimes when you're going through something that's difficult, all you need is someone who understands you. And I think it's very hard as a woman of color who is also a founder to have that sometimes. And to be honest, that's also why I think Girl Dreamer is really amazing, because it's given me the opportunity to be able to meet other female founders of color. And we have our little group chats, we have our little meetups, and it's great to be able to share in some of the ideas. It's great to be able to ask questions. It's great to be able to help one another. Like, it's definitely hard being a founder, but having a community is amazing. The story of the Girl Dreamer grant is actually quite funny. I initially saw it, I think 1.5 years before we received it, and I applied and we didn't get it the first time round. I remember feeling quite upset. I was like, oh, you know, this seems like a really cool grant. Like, it's great to be able to be around other female founders of color, but also the additional support that the grant was providing, like the workshops and the masterclasses and those kind of stuff. I thought that was really cool as well. I didn't think we could apply again either, so I kind of just left it for a while. And then one day, literally like 1.5 years later, because they had still kept our application on file, we got an email saying that we were successful. And I remember being so shocked and like messaging my co-founder straight away and being like, oh my gosh, we got this grant that I thought we didn't get before. And that's amazing. For us, we immediately went to looking at how we could best utilize the grant to really just help our students, because that's what's really important to us. Every year, we like to try and put together a student focus group for at least 50 to 100 students, because one of the things that really makes Doceo stand out as a youth education provider is that we are very much data-driven and we are very much student-led. Our students essentially co-create the programs with us, and we do this to ensure that we are actually meeting the needs of what it is that the students feel like they're lacking. And then we also co-create the programs with our employer partners as well. And we do this because we want to make sure that we're actually equipping the students with the skills that employers are saying they need. So it was amazing to get the grant at the time that we did, because we were able to put a portion of that funding towards doing that focus group. so that we could really make sure that in the following year, our programs were meeting the needs of the students. And so we partnered with Barclays to put that program on, and we took in 30 students into one of the Barclays offices, and we ran that program for them. And we're doing that program again this year as well. And that was off the back of the funding that we initially received from Girl Dreamer. So it's been amazing. I don't know the statistic for it, but I know that female founders of colour are the least funded in the entrepreneurial industry. I can't remember the exact statistic around it, but it's something that we experience like in real time, right? Like there are so many times where you either just don't have access to certain funds because you don't know that they exist, or you don't have the relationships with the gatekeepers of the industry. I mean, that's another thing that I just really love about Girl Dreamer, to be honest. The fact that they were specifically funding women of colour, I think that's amazing. If you are a female founder of colour, I would just say keep going, put yourself out there. Your community is out there, so find your community, find the people to support you, find the people to help you, but keep going, because what you're doing is probably really important. Don't give up. There are people out there to support you.